Hey everyone, let's wait for a few more times, then we can get started. People are just joining the call. Okay, I think we can get started with the call. Um, I'll just add the guest on the call today.
Hi, what's up?
Oh, can you hear?
Hello? I think it's cutting a little.
Can
Um,
okay, okay.
It's kind of, yeah, now I think it's better.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
better now.
better to talk with
Hey,
me.
welcome. Thanks for this. We appreciate that.
All right, hi, for one, I guess.
Yeah. Hey everyone. Let's get started with the call. Welcome to another episode with Talk with Soul. And today we have Selma with us. She's from Algeria. So, before getting into the call, let me introduce her to all the people out here. She is a social and climate activist, and she's also a SDG advocate. It's a long list, okay? So just wait. She's also the board member and co-founder of MENA Youth Network, founder of Together for Blue and Green organization, and she has taken part in a lot of association and organization, and she believes that change can be made if we want it, whether in terms of words or action. So this life is so important. We have such a inspirational person with us and such a motivator which we all need. So just get dig into it and welcome her to our live show. Hey Salma, welcome to Talk with Soul. It's our privilege to have you on the call. So tell us, how are you doing and how is everything?
Thank you so much for the invitation. I really do appreciate it. I hope you are not having noise. Like, it's so crazy to find a quiet place here. So yeah, I apologize for that. Well, greetings from Sharm Sheikh. We had we had a very hectic day. I would say days. It's so hard to find just some free time. Like, it's so hard to find it here, but like that's the spirit. I would say that's the spirit that everyone is looking for. We are trying to draft recommendations and start new statements and make sure that we are doing what we are supposed to do as youth. We couldn't. I mean, we did have some manifestations, but like, we demonstrated a little, but it wasn't open as we thought. It was like a in the blue zone only, cool venue, and but like, the point is, I hope our voice will be heard, and our message will be well received. That's the aim of everything. It's not for the media. It's not for just the world to see us, but the message that we want to deliver. That's the point behind it. I appreciate it one more time for inviting me, and that's I met so many change makers and youth who are building initiatives and hosting side events and trying to address all the challenges in different ways through art. We hosted children, we hosted youth. That's amazing, and it's happening for the first time in Cope, and we're so glad to just be here. And yeah, by the way, Sharm Sheikh is crazy.
Exciting, but yeah, that at the same time it's do. So before starting up, I would like to ask you, like, how of being a climate, you think about it, and how did you start on this job?
It was cutting actually. Can you say it again?
Yeah, sure. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So I want to know, like, how did you start this journey for climate change? Like, when did you think about it, and when did it click to your mind that this is what I want to do? And can you share your journey with
Yeah.
us? How did you start
Mhm.
it?
Yeah, to be honest, this journey started for all of us, I guess, in a way where we realized that, oh, something is going wrong. There should be something that is, I would say, resulting in having this um, environment that is not fitting us as youth, that is not fitting our generation, I would say. So it started all with questions, to be honest. And especially like I had the chance like to have my first collaboration which was with the Kids Rights Changemakers Foundation in the Netherlands, who actually really supported me to host a five events, 5 days event, where we created different topics like education, climate change, and how they are related when it comes to their advocacy and I would say the implementation of actions that can serve the community. So it started that way. It started me being youth, wanting to do something for my community, and then I realized that, oh, the session that we had about climate change and environment was the most interactive session because we insisted on everyone to go out, plant trees, and or clean a certain area, a dirty area, and or recycle something, you know. And this specific day where we talked about environment and climate change, it was the one where we saw a lot of engagement. We saw people really being happy to do this. And the fact that people are really convinced to do this, and it is making us happy. It is, and also it's contributing to making this, I would say, our this world a better one. I would say. So that's actually how it started. It started seeing the interest in the eyes of people, seeing the interest in the eyes of people who loved what I just gave, and they took it to the next level, actually. And I remember after this 5 days event, which was Be the Change event, we like I was like getting text and messages from everyone who were everyone was telling me, how can we start initiatives? How can we get more engaged? And that's just like made me realize I think climate is the answer. Climate is impacting everything. It's impacting education. It should get involved in everything. So so I decided to take everything to the next level, and that's how I was chosen for the Youth for Climate Summit, where I was a delegate of Algeria. I was actually for both editions. And that's like, that was the start when I had a chance to meet other change makers and know how they're tackling the challenges, you know? Like I met literally people, delegates from all over the world, all gathered in one place, exchanging ideas, what type of activities we should bring to the floor, what type of ideas are needed, what solutions we should suggest that fits the entire world. Because we think globally more than just regionally or locally. We think of, oh, what if the solution doesn't fit the indigenous people? What the solution doesn't fit Africa? So, like, it's always, we do prioritize humans and the world more than businesses and economies, you know, which is actually something that I also have noticed a bit here. There's still some discussions about their businesses instead of focusing on just youth. But I would say there's like just a small remark when I put in here, youth pavilion, youth and children pavilion is taking over. There's no other pavilion. It's like, it's the most crazy, full, hectic pavilion here. And that's amazing. That's a very good step for us to take it to the next level. And they ensure that this will take place in every home. This one, it was just a very small area, but we did a lot. We proved that we got this, we can do more, and we will do more, of course. So the journey, I would say, it was never easy, and it's going to be always hard. It's going to be always hard to convince the others, and it's going to be always hard to bring solutions that fits every community. That's hard indeed. And it's going to be always hard to get involved in decision making and just play the role of, oh, I'm the youth activist who should bear in mind everything before insisting to have me in this process of making policy decisions. So, so yeah, and then I decided to go to the next level again and just found my own NGO together with Green, and also collaborate with my friends, the delegates from the MENA region that were in Youth for Climate Summit, where we were able to finally build a network for the MENA region, which is called MENA Youth Network. We hosted so many consultations, we're taking actions, we're being present here, for example, in COPE, we had our on-site event. So we're already doing enough, and that's a very good step for us as MENA delegates who started from zero and who just believed in an idea. And here we are, we're turning it into actions, and we're getting involved, and people are being interested in knowing more about it. And that's the spirit again. And that's just effort, you know. And it's just believing that we have to do it. It's as long as it's wrong, we have to fix it, and we cannot just like keep accepting the fact that leaders maybe can reject some stuff and can oppose so many ideas, but we still need to fight back with better ideas. Maybe maybe we're not that good, but like we need to always fight back and never just lose hope, because it is exhausting indeed, but it does worth it. So to fight.
Yeah, that's like we have seen that so especially they're coming, and it's overwhelming. Happy that okay, we are taking for the things which going to impact our generation coming over, and it's very important for us. So being said that, I would like you to tell us something about your organization, that is Blue and Green organization. Like what does it do and how people are part of it and how other people can be part of it.
Oh yeah, thank you so much for bringing it up. Well, basically, Together from Blue and Green started right after me taking part in the Youth for Climate Summit, and it was when I was introduced to them, a huge amount of ideas and amazing initiatives that people and youth are taking on the ground. And it was like literally different strategies, different methods of how they implement and turn their initiatives into reality. And that's just inspired me. So why not me doing the same thing? I have already done like a 5 days event, so why not? You know, I was like so inspired by that, and I decided to just start this initiative, build it, and get as many people as I can. And it was especially that in my country, such NGOs, the word NGO is not really taking, it's not really having a presence in my country. So I decided to just go and like bring something to my community, and especially like youth who needs to know about this, who needs to get involved. They do want to, they would love to, but we just need to bring it in, to bring it to the floor. So thankfully, my NGO was funded by the European Embassy, and I had the chance to like host that event, workshops, and especially in universities as well, because we believe that climate change should take part in our educational system and curriculum, because that's the perfect solution for students to know more about how they can get involved, how they can teach that, how they can simplify climate change as a global concern to be. So we were able to do that, and we introduced people to movements and climate justice, for example, climate justice as a term and movement, how it did start and how people can do the same as well. And we really had a huge interest. I remember we hosted professors, some of the professors attended already COPs, and that was like an amazing touch to add. I do live in a country where French is the dominator, as well as Arabic. So I wanted to add a new touch where English should be introduced to people, and that's through these initiatives, because we're having COPs. We don't want to make language a barrier, but like, we wanted to assist on English, and that's actually the first Anglophone environmental NGO in my country, and that's Together with Blue and Green. I wanted like to have my touch in it, and people loved it more because of that, and the fact that we wanted to make it simple, funny, more about taking action rather than just like keep everything as words and knowledge, and that we have to implement that knowledge and bring it to and put it on the ground. I would say that's where I have always lived in, and it did work, and we had like great outcomes, and people are interested. People are. We had like just recently an offer from American Institute who suggested for us to have like a sort of collaboration to introduce youth to this global concern. They need to know it more. Especially in such communities that are still lacking a lot of initiatives and governmental and even youth involvement as well, especially in taking actions. So that was like a very good step, and I was impressed that this is something I didn't know, even though my NGO is like national, but I got offers from like regional and continental NGOs who wanted to collaborate. So who knows, maybe one day we can just extend it and make it and have like international, why not, regional, continental partners. We hope that, I guess. But we just started, so.
All the best for that, but yeah. I think that
Thank you so much.
it's it's just not about, doing something, but we can do certain active, things, and that we can make it fun as well. So it's very important that we do wholeheartedly, because it's very important for us. I think the climate change is something that's very important to all of us, and we all should start doing something towards it in a little way or in other way. So coming to that, my next question would be like, how do you think that a general public can, do certain things which can help in climate change in their day-to-day activities, or how can they do it without getting involved into something very big, or in general way, how can we help toward climate change?
So you said children? It was cutting.
Public, like in day-to-day life, how can they contribute toward climate change?
Perfect. Yeah. Actually, this is something that I have been insisting on just in our side event that we had, where I am like, you cannot just count on activists. Okay, so we cannot just like always be the ones advocating for that. We cannot just like be always the ones who are practicing. I would say who are having eco-friendly practices and taking actions. It can be only us. So if that's the case, this problem will never end, and it's going to just keep having more calamities and challenges that will only affect the same people again and again and again. And that's, I would say, a very good example. We had a lot in this year, a lot of calamities. We had so many countries got affected, and no one is paying attention yet. And it was the same vector. So basically, you cannot always count on activists, and you cannot always count on decision makers as well. That's the thing. We need to make sure that the people and just communities, they're also contributing to that. They're understanding that this is a global concern that should be taken seriously, and we're not messing. When they see us sometimes in the business, like demonstrating and just having strikes, they feel like, youth of this era, so much noise, so much energy. And they don't really read between lines. They don't understand the reason behind doing that, the reason behind going out and the sun and just speaking one word and raising one voice, which is all the same, no matter what region, gender, or religion, or you came from. We only have one word, and we want to save this world in one way where youth are more involved and communities are never neglected. Everyone, and I mean it. So we need to see everyone having these practices implemented. We need everyone to embrace what we're trying to advocate for. We want you to have to take simple actions like stop using plastic, stop the use of plastic. Here, literally at Coke, we're still seeing the use of plastic. Now, that's all we're asking for, like simple actions, exactly as COVID started. We all embrace the same measures. We need to we need safety measures. So the entire world should accept it. Why climate change is not taken as serious as COVID? You know, if we taught our communities that the later should be exactly as quarantine, we tackled a lot of things. It's true to have like businesses and a strong economy. We're not, of course, like we're not against this. But what we're trying to say is that we cannot have something that will impact humans later. And I would say harm humans later. We want to just have a safe world. I would say like a future, at least, for the generation to live. We are not living in an era where I would say our presence wasn't as perfect as we wanted, you know, because they didn't do a lot. But now I would say the current leaders. Now for us as future leaders, we want to leave a touch, and we want to better serve our community, and we want to give them like a better presence that we are having, you know, at least. And that's only by embracing like small practices, small initiatives, like cleanup sessions, like doing the advocacy, simplifying climate change for people, trying to make sure that I would say like especially when it comes to NGOs, like that's for what is happening in my country. Please, like, stop putting policies that will make people hate the fact to found something, you know? Like, it's so much policies, like we're doing something wrong. It's literally for community. So stop putting that. Stop making people and youth tired, because we're already having enough. So facilitate the process so that they can breathe, they can extend, rather than just making more on their shoulders, I would say. So much pressure already. And And all that we want to do is just having a better planet. You know, we just want to serve this communities, and that's all for the sake of the upcoming generations. We're already forgetting about ourselves. Like it's already we know already what is going on, and we don't want to teach that to the upcoming generations. Just seeing them in the youth pavilion, children were contributing, like they were having some arts, like they were painting on what future, like we provided them with boards, and they were painting, and we wanted them to paint something that they want to see in the future, and it was all about green and blue, and we don't want to eradicate that. So we have to save that. We have to provide more blue and green programs so that children, us, and everyone will love nature and will just always remember that this should be valued. This needs to be appreciated and kept, you know, and we need to fight for it. It deserves to fight for it, and it deserves to sacrifice for it. So yeah.
Yeah, that's so true. Like, it's so messed up right now that a small thing, we think that okay, it's very small, so if I do this, maybe it's not going to affect that much. But I think there where we go wrong. So whatever we think, let's try from our end, let's try from our people around us, and then it's going to be happening globally, right? So that's a good message, that as you said, that if we see government wise, if we see, you know, country to country wise, there is so much of policies, there is so much of rules and regulation that we need to implement to have a climate change. But I think that's something you are pressurizing yourself. It's not, it's just written. You are not doing something by your will, right? So it's better to let people free and think what they can do from their end. So that's very important. So thanks for giving that message. I think that's a very big problem.
Yes. I hope it was well received as well.
Yeah. So, you know, so the next question will be, what will be the consequences if we don't take major steps towards climate change? Like if we don't start realizing it right now, it's like too late for us. But if we don't start taking any step, what do you think is going to be the major consequences for all of us in coming future?
To be honest, the consequences are already happening. We have seen a lot of this year. Pakistan is a great example, and so many other countries as well. My country is literally having constant fires, wildfires every summer, and no campaigns are happening. We're not seeing any campaigns on the ground. Where are they? Where are the practices and the actions that should be embraced and implemented on the ground to stop? I would say not stop, because now it's too late. It's way too late. At least limit the impact of climate change on the same people every time, because governments are not being affected. Decision makers are not being affected. It's always us. It's always children, youth, women, minorities, marginalized people, and literally the same communities again and again and again. We're sick of seeing this scenario happening every yearly, I would say, and weekly and monthly. We want to see actions taken by everyone. We want to see people loving the fact to contribute, not just like contributing for the sake of, oh, we are, like, for example, here in Coke, like I hope like all the contributions that we're making as youth should be seen as real actions, because we want to do this, not because of the media, not because of us wanting to be here, but it's for us to address something. And most of us are sacrificing a lot to be here and to just raise something and then go back and hope to see it implemented. We have been drafting a lot already, and to be honest, we had some great outcomes. Like so far, for me, talking about Africa, we have made some suggestions, and we are waiting for approval that have been promised just yesterday to be approved for sure. So we want to see the implementation of such programs that can bring youth together, that can open the floor to youth to have like more contributions on the ground. I don't want to talk about the future because we are doing enough in the present. I would love to talk about the present. It's true that it's not perfect. We are having a lot already, and so many people are being affected with this global concern. But the good thing is that we're still fighting because we are having people who are really supporting us. we're having people who really truly believe in our efforts, and they know that we want something, and we want something good for the world, and they are trying to always shed the light on us and tell stories about amazing initiatives who are on the ground and who are contributing to making this world a better place. Because in the end, it's not about us and it's not about decision makers, but it's about the planet itself and how long we will survive. Actually, that's the question. Bring in the future is not something that I'm a huge fan of, but bring in the present. Yes, we are doing. Most of us are really doing enough. Like everyone is literally leading something in their own local community, national. Some of us even like international and regional as well. And that's a very good step to see that, like how youth are really passionate about that. And I would say the great result that we had out of this was the youth pavilion. And after like insisting and promising that this will bring outcomes, eventually it did. And we had the chance to bring a lot of voice on the ground. We had the chance to address so many challenges and also like introduce people, youth and children to how our activism should be like, you know, and keep always the ethics of the activists as well, especially after what happened. I would love to bring this here. To be honest, I have to. After what happened with the activists who ruined the piece of art. No, without giving so much details, that's actually part of the message that we want to deliver, is that activism work is never about implementing our anger. It's our right to be angry, but like it's never about giving a bad picture about who we are. Because what we are trying to advocate for should remain the same same or better, of course, for the upcoming generations. We don't want to teach them that this is how you can get things. However, like we need always to keep that good picture of who we are, which is not where people will love to contribute and not just like be like, oh, that's activist. No, that's activist, you know. And I have been actually, what happened? I have been contacted by so many people who were telling me, oh no, that's activism, and that's something that I didn't like. We don't want to give that picture about who we are, because what we're trying to do is really hard and it's exhausting, and it shouldn't be in that picture. So that's just like something that I really wanted to address, and I hope like that the world will understand this and people will also know this, because we're taking this so seriously and we are really trying our best. And it's like really hard, but like we're trying our best, and I hope we will have outcomes out of it. We're willing to. The word hope is also kind of, I don't know, I don't like it that much. We're sick of hoping. We want wills and actions.
Yeah, that's in the chat. Also, which area as a social activist we should focus in present scenario: education, women empowerment, climate change, or wildlife conservation? So what are your thoughts on it?
Sorry, the beginning of the question was?
Yeah, so there is a question from Bharat. Which area as a social activist should we focus in present scenario: education, women empowerment, climate change, or wildlife conservation? So your thoughts on that?
Yeah, to be honest, I have always thought of education as something that is more than, it's education, you know. The word itself is enough. I would say everything needs a time and everything needs a focus. However, when it comes to education, I would say it's an exceptional case, because the later will introduce you to the rest, to the other areas. If people will have the opportunity to know more about education they have the opportunity to know more about climate change in a simplified way, and that's through education. A great example that I can give is, for example, for our NGO, we do provide side events in universities, where we do introduce them to global movements and new terms like diversity, lesson damage, big NGOs, how things should start, how it should be implemented, you know. So like these things that are kind of not clear for so many people and should be simplified in a way that as youth we can bring it on the floor. So basically, and we have the opportunity to host professors who already attended COPE we did it in English so that it will be the same for even like for big gatherings where youth are supposed to bring recommendations and maybe why not draft statements and stuff. So like and really did help a lot, and basically that's, I would say, that can be always addressed always through clubs, through students, through NGOs who can host that in universities, and I would say it should always be included in education, so that we want more youth and children to ask questions. We want them to be curious. What is it? What is it exactly? How we can contribute to it? So we want youth to, we just want them to ask questions, you know? And if there was a question, then there will be for sure an action after it, because no one will accept that, you know? Just asking a question itself, you will get a lot of answered questions, and that will lead to just me wanting to do something. Since there is no answer, then why shouldn't I just do something, you know? And that's why we do believe that education should be always prioritized, of course, and that adding to youth empowerment, empowering youth, and believing in them. And if we haven't been trusted in taking certain actions and bringing new initiatives on the ground, then what's the point, you know? Why always just making policies that will just ruin the idea and not just help us to speed up the process of implementing a certain action, you know? So empowering youth should be always addressed, and should be will always remain as one of the main focuses. Education as well, and I would say the focus on having also gender equality, empowering women also to get involved, because we're seeing, you know, in African countries, so many women are farmers, and that's something so I'm so proud to say, and we see that here at COPE already. So we want to address that. We want to remind everyone that the blue and the green both should be valued, and we need to ask for them.
Yeah, that's so true. Like, actually, for everything, like if you have education, you have knowledge about certain things, it's give you a sense of independence, and you can help in any way you want to. That's very important. So I hope, Bharat, this answers your question. So going forward, so you know, nowadays young people are so focused on climate changes, okay? There is a definite disconnect between a older generation and a young generation. So when talking about the climate change, what do you think that is? Like, why there is such a difference? Nowadays we have seen youth coming forward with so much enthusiasm and all, but there is a lack between the older generation in this. So what are your thoughts on it, and how can we disconnect that gap?
That's a very good question, actually. To be honest, I think our generation was introduced to the digital world, which made us all close to each other, connected to each other. Seeing my friend in Europe implementing and taking actions that I cannot take freely in my country, it is annoying. I would not stand that. I would be so jealous. Like, why he can do it and I cannot? Why they do have a council and I do not? I have the right to participate. Why he's making decisions and he can take part in the parliament at a very young age and I cannot. So this comparison that is happening in the digital world that we're having, thank God, it is what is making us kind of competing with each other and questioning why they do and we do not. You know, why isn't global south to exist and global north to exist? You know, like why is so much difference in here? You know, I would say that's like bringing so many questions made us different from them. I think for them, they accepted the fact to have this imbalanced world. We will not accept it. They accepted the fact to have wars. We will not accept it. They accepted the fact to just consider climate change all as just a concern, like any other concern, like any other challenge that we will face in life, and we can just live with it till death. When we will not, of course, because we're seeing that it's so unfair and it's climate injustice, I call it. We're seeing that the same people are being affected while those who do practice what makes this global challenge worse, they are not being affected. So why is this is the climate justice term that we need to bring in here. So the fact that we are questioning ourselves and we're not accepting things to be the same it used to be, because they were also less affected, by the way, compared to now. It's a huge difference. They used to have like some sort of, now like people are, I would say now we are living in a world where you have to be greedy. You have to make as much money as you can, and that's the only thing. That's what life is. It's all about making money, profits, and that's how your country will be the best, you know? Now, that title is not something that I really want to, as long as if it's actually harming people and killing people who actually brought that success, then what's the point of having that, you know? We're ruining everything. Literally, so many animals got dental, and we're not asking, and some are still not asking questions and not taking it seriously, which is something God is so freaking like. Oh, sorry for that. I think everyone is angry now, so I apologize for that. So it's really, that's why, and people are saying like, well, you guys are angry, you're just like overreacting, and how we're not supposed to react to this, and how, we need to have thoughts on this. We need to have actual take on this. We need to oppose that. It's not something that I will accept, you know. It's not. It doesn't fit my region, so why should I accept it? You know, I have to oppose it, and I have to say it out loud, and I don't care what will happen after. You know, so that's actually the spirit that I'm seeing the situation is having, is that we're not pretty scary from anything. It may be like something that we need to limit to limit down a little, because it may cause us trouble. But as long as we're trying to advocate for what is better, what is better for this world, then that's the thing, you know. It's just we want to make it better, and I hope this scope will address a lot, because to be honest, I heard two news here, two outcomes that were approved, and I'm so happy. I hope I'm gonna see them on the ground. And if that is the case, then we will be having more youth really involved in decision making, and that's something that what we're looking for exactly, because we need youth to get involved, because they're already doing enough, and if they got involved, expect better results for sure. Because for us, we barely consider business as an economy. It's always prioritizing humans, and I think that's why I do believe that we will be having better outcomes.
Okay, yeah, that's people want to see the change. We have been hearing a lot about this, and people have been fighting for this from a very long time. But now people want to see the changes and want to see that what are the action that have been taken, right? So that's one of the things that's going to motivate them in future, if they know that yes, even if we are fighting for it, we are doing something on it, right? So that's very important. Coming to the next question, we all know that if it's related to human, right? If something happens or any climatic disaster happens, so we all see it. But there are certain unseen living that gets affected. That's the animals, the sea life, and that's getting impacted a lot. So, what are your thoughts on it, or do you want to share us any story related to it where the sea life, the wild animals are getting badly impacted due to climate changes?
Yes, actually, I saw this one activist. She's here from the U.S. and she's actually filming a documentary where she addresses how the extinction of marine I don't know if to put this in English. Yeah. So basically she had like this documentary where she highlighted how animals, I would say sea marine beings, I guess, yeah, are being extended. And she was like trying to get to get in touch with experts, marine experts, people who are in the field and who are studying the oceans. And so like she tried to get in touch with them to know more the reason behind it. And that's like something very amazing to see you just bringing here at Scope, like using the chance to do it. So you can see like some people are actually using the chance to really address as much as they can. And she's one of the examples actually. So she addressed that and she reached out to them and she brought like this and like her documentary started by one of the videos that I think it happened in Latin America, in one of the oceans, I guess, where turtles were, I apologize for the noise, they found like a turtle that was like having like focus on her, um, and it wasn't like a very, I don't want even to describe it because it was too much. So that's like one of the examples how our actions and careless practices are actually hurting animals, whether within the sea or even like animals in general. We're since I think just five, if we look 5 years ago and now, we will see so many animals are not existing anymore, and like animals that I used to see them. So we don't want, and actually this is something I think for bringing it because no one, I don't want to leave pictures for the upcoming generations, you know? No one wants that. We want to show them real animals, you know? I used to see them before, but now I'm seeing them as pictures. And for them, they don't even know them because they weren't even born. So why we are doing this, you know? How people can understand that this is horrible. Um, it's us who are contributing to this, and it's us who can actually also fix it. We cannot fix it 100%, but we can always limit its impact. We still we want to introduce the upcoming generations to these animals. We want to introduce them to our actions. We want to introduce them to how they can do things. No, but like do it in a better way, in a way where the same mindset will remain the same. You know, we are having a digital world and we're having an era of technology, and we can maybe improve so many things. You know, including the energy transition will be the future. But like, I cannot suggest now energy transition while some countries don't even have an access to electricity. And great example will be found in Asia, Lebanon, and Africa, so many countries. So we need to bring logic solutions that fits everyone in the world. And like I would say, like a huge part of the world at least. We need to see like change. We need to see people contributing and valuing the upcoming generations, thinking about them, taking them seriously. That's all that we're asking for. We want to save. We want to. Of course, this planet will not remain the same as it used to be, but like we want to see some of its beautiful parts still remaining. You know, and all we're asking for are simple actions. We're not asking for what is impossible to be implemented. That is never what we're asking for. And we both know, the decision makers know. And we want them to contribute with that. We want them to contribute with us and to just make that happen on the ground instead of always keep making the same promises and asking us to draft more recommendations, which will be obviously the same that we recommended before. So what's the point if you will just keep promising me and not making it happen? And literally this is happening. So many promises were made last year and we saw them all broken. And they have the same presence this year without mentioning names, but we hope this will not be the same because there's so much going on, and this year had a lot. So like we do have data, we do have numbers and proofs, and it's like we're done. It's either now or never.
Yeah, I think the promises and everything, and we are just waiting this to get done with. So it's very important to give a promise which we know, because this is related to our future, right? This is not something that we can joke around. This is so important to us. So it's better to tell something or to promise something that we know that we can do and can be implemented, so that it's not a joke that we are going through right now. It's very important for us. So, Salma, just recently I was scrolling through your Insta ID and I got to know something new about sustainable fashion that's going to impact the climate change. What do you want to say about it? It was really interesting. Like, hello. I think Salma, your net. I think she got some net issue. Okay. I'll just add her again. She just got some issue. I've added her again, so let's wait. I'm so sorry for this inconvenience. She's having some issue to join. I think she had some network issue. So let's wait for like at least few minutes and hope you everyone is doing good and having a good Saturday evening. We had to do the live one day before. That's on Saturday. Because our guest was available today, and I'm really happy whoever joined the live really means a lot to us. Um, let's wait for a few more time. Okay, she has requested.
Hi again. What just happened?
It just went off.
All right.
So where was I?
Mhm.
Yeah, I was going through your Insta, page, and I knew some sustainable fashion that's a part of, a climate change. So would you like to tell us something about it because it's something very new for us?
Yongo?
Yeah, the sustainable
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, for Yongo, you're talking about Yongo or fashion working group? Sustainable fashion.
like how and in we can do changes in our fashion lifestyle to impact the climate and all.
Oh yeah, yeah. Actually, this one wasn't with Yongo. It was with Earth Rising. However, yes, in Yongo we do have a sustainable fashion working group. They do focus on advocating for sustainable fashion, eco-friendly fashion, and that's through like you know, we all know like fashion. In order to make one pen, you have to cut so many trees for that, and and the fact that this is actually something that is neglected, and we're seeing like so many countries are just having like a brand that is destroying the earth, and they're exploiting people for that as well. A great example would be Bangladesh, as a country where these brands are using these lands to just for having an unsustainable fashion. So like it's not only like ethically talking, and also talking about the practice itself that is eco-friendly, that is so not sustainable, and so not inconsiderable for planet and environment. That's something that I do find really important to bring, because we are living in an era where fashion is taking a huge place, and we don't want really to introduce people to like how like we want to introduce them to practices where they can turn this fashion into, we can be fashionistas, as my friend said, and that's through having like an eco-friendly outfit, you know, an outfit where I did consider plants before wearing anything, you know. And that's actually the case for as Youngo, and also as Earth Uprising, who just wanted to suddenly focus on fashion as one of the I would say one of the main reasons that are contributing to climate change as a concern. So yeah.
Okay, that's
However, in terms of Youngo, Youngo is actually an NGO that is accredited by the UNEP and we are a group of youth who just started, and then everyone decided to focus on a certain theme and open a working group for it. For example, I had always had a huge interest in human rights, and I decided to have to take the lead on this, and I am the contact point to the human rights working group at Youngo. And so many people, like some had, but as long as it does have a relationship with climate change. And of course, climate change is affecting everything. So we have everything already. We have working groups in agriculture. We have even like IT and technology, I would say. We do have that as well. We do have green jobs. We do have fashion working group, sustainable fashion working group, and many more. There's a long list. So the fact that we are all there addressing these issues, trying to make recommendations and statements, and trying to introduce people to how they can get more involved, what type of initiatives they can take, and that's just like made us really close to not only decision makers but also more youth who can take actions from different regions of the world. And that's I would say that's one of the best actually initiatives that youth have ever made, because they're taking over in both.
That's amazing. So coming to talking about Yongo, so I would to know like how we can be part of it, like how our audience can be part of it if they want to do something about climate change or anything.
Yeah, actually they do. Yeah, it's like an open membership. They can apply wherever they want. Also, we do take place in so many conferences where we do introduce them to Yongo. Like what is it exactly, how they can take part in it. Like we are introducing people not only through online platforms and events, but also through other events, I would say, and initiatives that we had, like in collaboration with other NGOs, and also in-person consultations and conferences. So you can say that we are actually kind of trying to spread the word about us, and using different tools, different platforms, and yeah, and I hope, and I can tell people already now, you just know about it, and whoever. So yeah, whoever's interested to be part of that, you can just apply. You go to Yongo, and they do have membership. They do open it. They do have monthly calls. They do have monthly calls every. They do have monthly calls where we do discuss how people can apply, what are the working groups, what they want to know. We answer questions. So that's the thing. It happens every month.
Yeah, right. That is.
Sorry?
Is there any eligibility criteria? One can just go and.
I can hear it.
Yeah, is there any eligibility criteria for it, or we just can go and apply?
I would say just having an interest in climate change, maybe some actions they can move in climate change, because we will be talking about policies, we'll be talking sometimes about dense topics, and we would love to have people knowing about that, but that doesn't mean that you cannot take part of it. Never. The fact that you are having interest, we want always more activists, we want always more people. So yeah.
Okay, got it. Thank you so much for that information. Quite a lot. So yeah, before coming to the end of the live, the last question
Yes.
I would.
Literally everyone is leaving me now. Hurry up.
So your last words for the audience, or you want to say something to our audience?
Sorry?
Your last words for our audience, or you want to convey something?
Yeah, I would say the fact that yes, climate change is indeed a global concern, and fighting it is hard, and taking actions itself it's also harder, especially in communities where this mindset doesn't exist of fighting climate change and taking actions doesn't exist. And I'm saying, like, so many communities are like this, where governmental support is not there, where youth are not really showing interest, which makes it like harder actually. So I would say seeing all of that happening doesn't mean that you need to be the same. So keep fighting, keep doing whatever you can. Trust me, there should be something interesting in whatever you're doing. It's impossible. It's about your way on how you will bring it to people, what tools you will be using, and and how you will be introducing it as well. It's about simplifying it, and that's what I have always insisted in my NGO. I wanted to simplify the term for them. I wanted to introduce them to climate change. I wanted them to love that, to love taking actions and enjoy it, but also pay attention to what is actually happening, because our practices are kind of not really like are not really healthy too. So we need to kind of limit what we love doing sometimes, like fashion, for example, which is our thing. But still, like, we need to consider planet as well. We need, I mean, eventually it's just life, So like we need also to keep thinking about the future, to keep like we do have alternative, we do have options for everything. That's the good part. It's impossible to just have a horrible life that we just will insist on climate change and like live without, never, of course. So there should be a solution, there should be an alternative, and there should be some fun, so much fun in this. That's the thing that I can guarantee, that so much fun, so much hard work. You'll be exhausted out of doing that, but the good thing is that you will meet amazing people who will always push you and make you feel like, I'm going to do this forever, no matter how hard it's going to get. So that's my advice to you. And I hope we are giving a good picture on how things should happen. And I hope we are just inspiring you a little to go for it and just fight that fear and go for it, because it does work and it's so much fun.
Yes. Yeah, truly, like you people part of the it's not something that going unseen. We the people are,
Exactly.
we know that how things should be. So thank you so much for this. And just
Great.
before this, want to let you know that we as a Sattvic Soul Foundation to collaborate in such situation. We
Always
are
open.
always there. We are
Always open to collaborations. Of course. That would be an amazing step to take.
yeah. So thank you so much for joining this live with
Of
me, and
course. Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you so much for the invitation, and I appreciate it for bringing this here. And I hope we somehow at least help a little in making things clear somehow. And yeah, and I hope we brought some of the co-vibes. These are the delegates. I'm going to show you.
Oh,
Hey, make something, say something.
hey. Oh, it got stuck.
So yeah, these are co-delegates. So yeah,
Great.
you see how much fun we're having? You better join us in the move.
I have been following you from past years, like whatever you are doing, it's amazing. So thank you so much, and
Yeah,
and talk
of
soon.
course. Of
Bye
course,
bye, and
yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It was so nice talking to you. See you next time. Who knows where and when. Bye-bye. Thanks everyone for being here. Appreciate it. Thanks.
so hey, thank you so much for joining the live. I think you find it useful, and we again tried our best to provide you something so that it can help the society and can help the audience to see the vision behind everything that we are doing. So thanks for being a part of it. We'll meet next week with another, with another person, with another perspective, and with another lesson or a knowledge that we are going to gain. So thank you everyone, and have a nice evening and happy Sunday. Bye bye.